Alright, so we got solve analysis, another week, another cuber. We got someone most of you guys probably know. We got CyoTheKing, otherwise known as Chris Olsen. He's probably the leader now in making tutorials on Yau5, because by default, because no one actually does that at all. So yeah, we got an average of 5 from Chris. 5x5, 107 average. I think that's about normal for him. It's Yau5. What do you consider the best part of your solve? Edges and 3x3. What do you consider the worst? Centers. First two are awful, I think. We shall see. How long have you been cubing? 10 years. We got a veteran. How much do you practice nowadays? 3 to 7 hours. So it kind of makes sense. Pretty casual. If you're doing like 107 on 5x5 is kind of the range that just after practicing, like if you've been around for 10 years and you've been cubing for so long, like you just, it's a pretty reasonable time to be at. No other notes. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, here we go. We'll just go ahead and get right into it. So Chris uses Yau. He does yellow and white centers first. So it'll be a little bit harder to do a little bit of my normal analysis, but the overlap between Yau and regular solving is so big that it'll be pretty easy to kind of see what's going on. Also, Chris has a very great example of primo video. One sec. Oh man, too bad you can't do red first. Look at that, easy. Wait, what color are you doing? Wait, was that your first yellow center? Oh god, Chris. Oh no. Oh, Chris. Okay, wait, I want to see the inspection on this. Okay, so my first thought is that yellow is... Yellow is way worse. Yeah, white was way better. So... it's hard for me to tell. I'm not going to go over the yellow center because it's harder to see on this video and inspection. But, yeah, of course the solve has better quality than my camera. Chris has, like, tons of, like, video work. So right here, you got these two right here. So immediately I already see this. So let's go real slow. Boom, right here. So we got these two here. And we got these two right here. So honestly, this start is pretty terrible. I'll give Chris that. Hard to decide. Okay, well, I guess you got two yellow. You got two 2x1s. And then you got... It's just... Okay, maybe it wasn't... It was just... Okay, so he made that, and then... What in the world? Okay, so maybe yellow and white were probably equally bad. They both kind of sucked, but... The yellow execution is really strange. Like, essentially you're wasting a couple moves here that just, like, don't do anything. Let's check it out again. Oh, God, this video is so clear. It's very nice. Alright, so we got... Okay, so we made a 2x2. And there's another 2x2 floating around here. But it's not... Oh, okay, so we did make the 2x3. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought. My bad, Chris. So, but the only real problem I have right here. So you got this edge right here. You even see this edge right here. And a big thing, this is actually pretty big, because what you do is you rotate, you do a D, you do an R, then you solve it with yellow on top. Right? D, R. Okay, so you solve with yellow on left, which is better than yellow on top. That's good. But the thing is, you're in a great position right when you see it. So, oh, oops, too far. This video player is like bugging out. Man, red is so much easier. Too bad you're using it. All right, so right here, you're in a great position. You got this piece right here. You got these two right here with D, R prime, U wide, L wide. You now have the yellow center done, and you're holding white on top, which is perfect. Just like gotta be a little more aware. It's like you saw it and then you did it, but like you just gotta be a little more aware that ending with white on top is way better than, like, it's usually better because it's almost always better to have white on top when you're finishing. And just in general, there's no cube. You're already holding it without a cube. There's no cube rotation involved to finish the center from here. You just gotta use your left hand, which I think is definitely better. Yo, Pokeblock. I analyze anything you submit as long as it's between 3 and 7. Last week we did something way different than Yau. I mean, like I can do a pretty good job on Yau stuff. Like a lot of it overlaps with free slice. Like last week I tried it was two sep. It was like a 4x4 reduction and a 2x2, which I had no idea what was going on. So I'll try it. As if you're a sub and you submit something, I'll try. I'll do my best. But obviously, if it's not a method I do, then there's less there's diminishing or there's like less returns on my how helpful I'm gonna be. All right, so we're doing edges. All right, green and white. Obviously, I'm not gonna have as much to say during this portion of the solve, right? Because I don't do. What was that? Whoa, what was that? What? Okay, so I think Chris holds. Chris, let me know where you hold your centers when you're doing them, because this is okay. This is a weird. Okay, so let's get to centers. Okay, so we're on. Okay, oh wait, that's still edges. Finishing up edges. All right, so now, okay, the first thing I see is we got this red. Red is clearly the best, for sure. What do we do? I have no idea what Chris is. Oh, he's doing blue. Or is he doing blue? Oh, I honestly have no idea what Chris. It's really hard to see because he's doing red on back. But oh, he saw. Oh, that's why. Okay, he solves his last cross edge and stores it. That's really inconvenient. Is that better? Do people do that? I mean, I don't know. This is like totally a Yau thing. I feel like that's like really hard to do. Okay, because I was so confused what was going on. So I feel like even... Okay, so right here in this center case you got... What do you have? So, okay, so this is a thing that actually I know, like, this is helpful for Yau more than anything, actually. So right here, you're going to do something that's going to get 2 bars on left involving some slices, and you're going to do an L and like a small L where you have to preserve your cross on left, so you do a tiny L. If you do L wide F, L wide prime, and then I don't know, L F. If you could, okay, let me try and set it up. Okay, what do we got here? We got this. This is orange. No, this is. Yo, Derek Shee, thanks for the sub. This is. Here we go. So we essentially have what amounts to this, and in this case, we're pretending that we have. We're pretending that we have this. These are locked. We can only use this. So right here, we have essentially this with just a U-turn off. It's going to work just fine for this purpose. But Chris does some slices. But right here, we can see if this piece is already our free slot, we can go boom, 3 moves, solve this, and then, oh, right here, and then we can go boom. In this case that Chris has, I don't think, oh, it still would have worked, yeah. We can essentially do it twice. We go boom, and then we go boom again, and then we have our 2 by, then we just go like this, and we have our 2 by 3. Boom. Because Chris's does, like, a weird kind of slice thing. Oh, he did get the 3rd bar solved. I am gonna assume that was accidental because that would be incredibly advanced if he knew that was gonna preserve the 3rd bar. But that'd be really impressive otherwise. Let's see, red and blue first. Good. Right here is I don't like this is pretty nitpicky, but Chris is fast, so we're gonna call him out on this. But right here, you like this is right in front of you. The red and green is clearly like 2 pieces done, and you already saw this red and green here. It's kind of an extra U, just like it looks like you're just turning a little too fast in that case. So right here, I really would recommend... So right here you get... I'm not sure if it's... Like, this case for sure is dead. This is definitively better. Right here, you're going to cycle this... You're going to cycle this piece right here over here to finish your red and yellow edge. And it's easy, it's pretty common to think of like, oh, I have 2 pieces solved, I'm going to cycle the 1 piece over. But in this case, it's not going to, you do a D and then a rotation and then a cycle and then like a reverse D and another rotation. In this case, just do a U wide 3 prime, and just cycle the top 2 pieces. Way easier, no rotations, no D moves. Definitely recommend doing that instead. Because like it wasn't 2 rotations, but still. Alright, last 2 edge case. Also don't know anything about last 2 edge cases for Yao, but alright. Solid solve. You can't tell what it is. Looks like 103. Oh, the editing too. Oh god, Chris, so good. High quality video. Is there no sound? Oh, the sound's off. One sec. We're gonna put the sound on. I'm also gonna turn my recording for sound on. Here we go. I mean, not that he'll watch the recordings of these, but still. I'll do it for you guys. The sound on for you guys is probably better. So white is clearly the option here. Or maybe not. He does yellow. Wait, no, he does white. Okay, so that was a fast first center. I'm not going to go into it. Based on the scramble I saw and the moves he did, looked very efficient, looked good. I like that. Good stuff right there. I was going to say preserve that red bar, but you're doing Yau, so it doesn't matter. Boom, right? Orange and yellow. Ah! Oh, dude. You're killing me. Orange and yellow was right in front of you. But that's just a recognition thing. Okay. So the thing I'm noticing in general, like, you don't... So, I've talked about this a lot for 5-5 centers. Doing any work whatsoever to save bars is not worth it. And pretty much this is true, but like any work can be like doing a U doesn't count as work. Like doing a single U or a U prime doesn't really count as work. So like just an example, like right, let's go a little slower. Right here. Like, I guess he does. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Oh, 1 sec. There's definitely an example. I saw an example. Specific example. Oh, I think it's he solved that bar. No, I can't remember. Okay, well, we'll get back to it. So I think it's going to show up. Cross solved like that. A lot of D moves in general. Whoa. So, big thing, I don't know if this is on purpose or a mistake, but we'll just kind of go over it. So right here. So Chris has both of these edges on top, so we'll go back a little more. So he has this edge right here, and he's gonna make the orange and yellow edge. So we're just gonna assume for the sake of this, that this is the best case. It might be, and what you should do here is you should do a cycle for this. So with Krista, I don't know if it was a mistake or anything, but you should definitely set this up to be a cycle and not do that, because that is a lot of moves. The setup for that is just as quick to do the MU2 M prime, but a cycle is going to be pretty much just as quick, but cancels more stuff and is better in the long run. Definitely do a cycle for that case. That was okay. So what he just did was a D and then a flip and then a D wide prime instead of rotate U. So I'll just go over the options you have here. So you're right here, right? So you have 2 options in this case. These 2 are solved. It's a slice, loop, slice, last 2 edge case. You can either do a D wide, flip, D wide prime, or you can rotate. You can do a Y prime, and you can do a U wide 3, flip, U wide 3 prime. I personally prefer the U one because it's less risky. It's 1 rotation, which is super fast, and Ds are just sketchy in general for me. If Chris likes this, that's perfectly fine, but just like letting you know there's options as well. I don't like that OLL, but you probably don't learn your big cube OLLs, but not a big deal. Alright, good. That was exactly how I would do that. Nice. So, this is a little awkward. This might be a little nitpicky. I'm not sure. I'm just going to kind of give you the... It isn't like a mandatory thing. It's just... So, right here you did an F2 L wide to U2 L wide to match this up. But... Oh, no, never mind. This is definitely better. You're in this case right here. Do a U2 R wide, U2 R wide prime. Same thing, but it does U2 and R's instead of F's and L's. Yeah, Chris, I'm like super partial to hating on D. If you can, if like it's really just what you can reliably do. I put a big emphasis though on reliably. Like you got to be able to do it like every time, especially when you're nervous and like you're about to get like a great time. Like then your D moves like go bad and your RUF is still probably pretty solid. But I'm sure your righty stuff is always better than your lefty stuff. I think that's pretty common for everyone. Trying to think if there was like... Okay, so right here, there's definitely for sure. So I'm just like looking, I haven't done Yau. So the biggest thing I've noticed in the 5 minutes I've now thought about Yau is that when you're doing your last two centers, if you can do it, it's not the hardest thing ever to not have to rotate, do L moves at R at all. So in this case, if you do a... Let me set this one up. This is going to be a longer analysis because this one's kind of interesting. So we got this case, essentially... Oh, this one's solved, but it doesn't matter. We're working on the lefty. So we got this case, essentially, is what we got. So Chris kind of fumbles around, doesn't... I'm assuming Chris kind of made a mistake here. He paused, then he did a lot of stuff. But in this case, we're going to pretend again we have to save this bar right here, or this piece right here. This one is locked. Or this is our free layer, so you can, when you're doing your Yau last two centers, I don't know for 100%, but I've just noticed this recently, is that I'd recommend doing a lot of R wides, because if you do an R wide, you can then keep your U layer without doing an L. If you want to do F turns, you have to do an L to do an F turn. So in this case, you do this, boom, and then you got that, with just some R wides, and then you finish off real quick. Just kind of some food for thought. Obviously, take all my Yau advice with a grain of salt. I'm not a master of Yau, but that seems pretty like clearly better, and I think anyone would agree. Very smooth on finishing off your cross. I really like that. There's virtually no pause when you finish your cross after doing your centers. Really like that. Very good. There we go. A little bit of a fumble there on preserving. So as I said before in 5x5, you don't want to preserve stuff. If you don't want to do work to preserve stuff, this is a great example of a no work preservation. You can insert this top edge in one of two ways. One way preserves the edge, one way doesn't. You're going to have to insert either way. Just preserve the edge. So zero extra work. And Chris kind of fumbled around, but he got it, so that was good. Don't like this. So this is not too big of a deal. This is kind of something that Chris, I'd recommend thinking about. It's not mandatory. You did, so right here. You're right here. And you got... You don't rotate the cube back. It's a little hard to say. Boom. So we got the two green and yellows here. We got the green yellow here. We can do a slice, flip, slice to solve it. But I'd really recommend, especially because you got... Oh, wait. You haven't solved any of your F2Ls. I'd really recommend setting up for a cycle case. It'd be much easier. Like, definitely highly recommend setting up cycle case. Unless miraculously you knew you were going to get this like 3-cycle case, which I highly doubt. Because that would have been astounding. But definitely cycle case there. Alright, good. Cycle's there. No parity. Nice. Didn't do any cross edges. I don't know if doing your F2Ls is that big of a deal or whatnot. That's a Yau thing. So, same OLL as before. Interesting execution. Chris does some fancy finger tricks, so I'm not good. Yeah, doing last center on you is definitely better for Yao. I think, unless you already like just picking one and sticking with it is definitely gonna be the key there. Holy crap, that was a fast first center. I assumed it was just really easy. Pretty standard stuff there. All good. Easy set. There's not too much to say about easy centers. Everyone does the easy cases the same, so. Okay. I'm just a little tricky on the edit design. Nothing too. So you built your. I don't know. I'm not the biggest expert at Yao center building unless it's obvious, because it seems like you're just doing a lot of unnecessary L moves. Like, so you have this is okay. Let me solve. Let me get my fake Yao solve into a real Yao position. Okay, here we go. So if you have a bar, if you're like this, no, I guess there's not much you can do there, so we'll just continue. Yeah, as I said, I'm not the greatest expert on doing your Yao. Okay, this was egregious, I think. Let me double check. Oh, yikes. Oh, Chris. Oh, you hurt me. You hurt me. Oh, man. All right, this is bad. This is something you can never do anymore. This is like, no matter who you are, this is like a big no-no. Like, this is a huge, like, red flag. You cannot do this. Let's get to exactly the point where it happens. Okay. We're here. Okay, I want to see that. I wish there was a better angle to see the exact case you got. So you solved two pairs. Oh, you solved two pairs? Okay. So you solve two pairs, that's fine. And now what Chris does. Oh boy, never do this, kids. So what Chris does, he sees his first four edges, right? Or his last four edges. And okay, so never mind. It's not as bad as I thought. Wait, what are you doing, Chris? Oh, God, Chris. Okay, there's a lot to talk about right now. Oh, wait, that wasn't... What is going on? Let me watch this again. What's up with my video player? Okay. Okay, solves a pair. Oh, that's a cool trick. Alright, does this. And then... cycle. Okay, that's alright, but there was a better option. Okay, so let's backtrack. My video player like stops crapping itself. Right here, here's what we got. Okay, so Chris has dang it. Okay, let's go back. Let's get a better angle. We got the better angle. What is up with my video player? Is this format weird? No, it's MP4. Okay, right here. So what Chris has got is he's got last four edges, and he's only got one real option. So what he has right here is he has green and yellow right here, and he's got green and yellow right here. He's got red and yellow here, and he's got red and yellow here. So I'm gonna give Chris the benefit of the doubt and assume. Oh, it can't go frame by frame. I forget the shortcut for that. I'm gonna give Chris the benefit of the doubt and assume that he knew with this slice flip slice it would solve two pieces of both. So he slice flip slice. He has d wide prime. He has d wide slice or flip d wide prime, and he solves two pieces each of red and yellow and red and green. I'm gonna give the Chris the benefit of the doubt and assume that he knew that was gonna happen. However, this is terrible. It's not as bad. When I initially thought it, I thought he did a whole slice flip slice to solve one green and yellow piece on one edge, which is like disaster. But the thing is here, he already has. Okay, he did 100% know that, and so this isn't as bad. It's just a mistake. It's not like terrible anymore. But the thing is, you don't want to do anything unless like if there is a whole edge you can solve, you want to go ahead. You always want to solve the whole edge first, because let's think about the best option out of this slice flip slice case is. You're going to do a slice up slice, which takes a decent amount of time, about the same amount of time as the cycle plus setup. And you're going to have two edges that are now two pieces done. Think about that for a second. If you already have an edge that has two pieces done, you can do one set of moves, solved completely, and 90 or 100% of the time, you can then, when you're slicing back on that cycle, you can then set up another edge to be two pieces done. So if you do a cycle instead, if you have another edge that's already two pieces done, you can 100% get a whole solved edge plus the case where two pieces are already done. And you already got this orange and green edge right here with two pieces done. Gotta notice that. That's big. Gonna save you a lot of time. Just, it's really common though. Like it's the fact that you knew that's not as makes it a lot better, and it's not too big of a deal. Well, okay, it's a pretty big deal, but like. It's always better to solve an entire edge first. Essentially doing that slice up slice is just complete waste and accomplishes almost nothing for you. Really, I know it's like especially if you're trying to go fast and you see something where it's already right in front of you, like, oh, I should just do this. It's always gonna be better if you just take half a second and find the full edge first. It's really I make this mistake constantly in solves, especially in competition. I see something, I do it, even though there's a better option. But yeah, definitely find that full edge first. And then this is not the thing I see. So we're gonna assume he did this. Then the next thing I see, this one's not that big of a deal. This is just kind of a nitpicky thing. So he does a cycle, good cycle, like the cycle. Make sure you're always doing cycles when you can. Chris is good at cycles. But so this is kind of a cool cycle trick. It's just something you wouldn't naturally notice immediately. So right here. So he cycles this. He's got the solved green edge like he should. And then he's going to insert... Then he has the orange and green edge on the back in the middle here. And he's going to insert the orange and green edge from top to do another cycle. So then it's going to cancel into the next cycle, which is good. All fine and dandy. But there is a better case, actually. That uses an F for the insert. It uses like the flip insert. And you already have this red and yellow here, which you made earlier. Because you made it earlier, you might as well use it. You got this red and yellow right here. If you do a classic 3-move insert, you can then keep this layer sliced, do a UI prime, and then that would cancel into a better cycle. This is really nitpicky. Definitely not something that you need to be doing. I just kind of wanted to show the option. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Chris did here. Like, once he'd already made, like, that was perfectly... The ending was fine. Alright. Yeah, I wanted to show that. Yeah, Chris said that was cool. Definitely something that you got. Just something to be on the lookout for. Not like a huge deal, but definitely something that's should be looking out for. Alright, I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. This is the same. This is. Oh, actually, that was fine. Edges. I like those centers. Those were good centers. Nice. You made sure you knew what you were doing before you just randomly inserted it. That's good. Like that. This is a good one. Building your F2L. Or what are you doing here? I'm confused. I'm confused what went on here. Whoa, oh yeah. You're looking like me in a bad way. Don't do the wide F. U2 F prime and then do inverse sex. Like, yeah, that hurts. But all right. So that was Chris to solve. Wasn't too much to notice in the last one. Kind of the same stuff. General overview. I mean, Chris is pretty good. 107.1 average. Yeah, a lot of the, obviously, I think the biggest kind of holdup was, your Yao edges seemed. It's hard for me to really say because I'm not a Yao expert by any means. So, just the Yao edges seemed like a little unsmooth, like not very good. It's like pretty common. I don't know how long Chris has been doing Yao. It's like Yao edges are really hard. I'm not even good at them on 4x4. So that's kind of the biggest thing I noticed holding you back. Other than that, there's definitely some center tricks in terms of not using your left hand as much, making sure you're using your right hand. Just making sure when you're doing your Yao centers, trying to be cognizant of where you're doing your moves because it matters for Yao. F and U's are very different. If your free layer is F versus U, you don't want to have to be doing extra L moves all the time. And then edges, just be a little more aware of like what your options are for cycles. The biggest thing is like on last 4, don't just go ahead and do something. On last 4, you always need to be whenever you, on 5x5 especially because on 5x5 for sure because it's so there's always something easy. You 100%, like 99.9% of the time, if you're doing any action, it needs to be solve an entire edge. Doing anything to solve 2 pieces of an edge is a complete waste because pretty much every single time there's already going to be a different edge with 2 pieces and you could have just seen that and you wouldn't have had to do those moves in general. That's the biggest thing. Other than that, cycles are pretty good. Centers seem generally solid. Edges seem pretty good. Just not doing some extra moves. A couple extra moves were thrown in there that kind of like you were doing moves before you really knew what was going on. But overall, there weren't too many wasted moves. I like that. Things pretty good in general. Most of the stuff I was already talking about. So yeah, that was Christopher Olsen Solve Analysis. Yep.